This is the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Now, live in studio, your host, local real estate expert, Jamie Meloni.
Hi out there, everybody. Thanks for tuning in here to the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show here on 1250 Wins WHNZ. We got a great show planned for all of you listeners out there today. We've got Alex Sink, former gubernatorial candidate for the Democratic Party in 2010, and also the former chief financial officer for the state of Florida. She's in studio today. She'll be talking about her newest project. She is the founder of the Florida Next Foundation, which is an organization designed to help entrepreneurs and community leaders and small business owners get their ideas out in front of people of influence and potential investors. And so if you're fitting that category, definitely want to stay tuned. A lot of great information on her organization. That'll be coming up here in just a little bit. Also in studio, fellow guest host Stella Giudicelli. I always have trouble saying that.
I know you're not the only one, Jamie.
Giudicelli. How do you say that?
Okay, so when you say it, you got to be singing.
Yeah, you always tell me to.
Giudicelli.
So she's in studio today. She is a realtor with Coldwell Banker, as myself. I myself specialize in the sale of foreclosed properties here in the Tampa Bay region. And off the air, you can find all of my listings as well as all of my past shows of the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show over at tampabayradio.com. Stella, how was your weekend? I heard you got a new listing here you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, right. When you ask me how my weekend was, it's very much asking a non-real estate agent, how their Monday and Tuesday was. So it's pretty much working for me on the weekends. Although I do like that time of the week because I do open houses and it's always a fun time. I get to meet a lot of people, and so it was a good weekend. I did do an open house on Sunday on an interesting property. It is a completely renovated 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house of 1,622 square feet. This property has a large pool. A beautiful pool located on a large corner lot. So if you
yeah, see it up here on the Streamcast. If you, all my shows are streamed live on the website Tampa Bay Radio. Just go over to the show info tab and pick a live stream. So we got some pictures of the property up on the screen right now. Where is this property located?
So this property is located on Temple Crest. So it's just south of Busch Gardens and the Highland of Adventures, and also it's feet away from Temple Crest Family Park and Hillsborough River. So it's really, this property is really a jewel, and it's priced at $140,000. What I really like about the property is that the owners have been committed to do work well done. It's not just a superficial cosmetic remodeling. They've replaced everything from the floor baseboards to insulation, drywall. The roof is brand new. The electrical part, the exterior part of the electrical is brand new. The bathrooms, as you can see, the kitchen, the water heater is new. The pool system is new. So it's just a great investment for someone who would like to rent the property. Also a very nice home for a family. As you can see, it was rehabbed with a lot of style. And what I really like in the house too is that there's a lot of windows and lots of lights coming in the house. So
I can tell it's a very open floor plan, very spacious, and great lighting inside the property. I can tell the renovation on the property is definitely a stellar job as well. It looks very nice here up on the screen.
Very good. Thank you, Jamie. So yes, if anyone is interested in the property, please feel free to call me at 813-503-8431. Again, Stella Giudicelli, 813-503-8431. Thank you very much.
Yeah, if you didn't catch that information, you can always find that up at the website tampabayradio.com. And that home looks very clean and move-in ready, which is something we definitely need out there in the market. We find a lot of properties in the Tampa Bay region that are bank-owned and short sales that are in disrepair, that need work. That property right there looks amazing and looks pretty much ready to move in.
Correct.
One more time for the audience. Where is the property located and the price?
So I'm going to give you the address. It's 8114 North 39th Street, Florida, Tampa, Florida 33604. And what else do you want to know?
What section of town was that in?
Temple Crest.
Temple Crest. Well, very promising looking property, and thanks you very
we'll
much.
Keep you updated.
Thanks very much for highlighting it here on the show.
Thank you, Jamie.
Want to go ahead and go over to one of my expert contributors here for the Credit Matters segment, Bill Lavender, credit repair specialist with Lavender Credit Solutions. Bill, how are you doing today?
Doing great. Hey, last week we missed you, but Stella did a wonderful job.
Yes, last week I was out in L.A. I was at the annual Generation Blue conference, which is the annual Coldwell Banker conference. They gave me a trip out there for ranking in the top 10 of all of the Coldwell Banker agents. So I left the show in the hands of Stella and Christina Griffin, who covered for me fairly well. So thank you very much to them as well.
Congratulations to you for your award.
Thank you very much, Bill. So what's going on in the credit world today?
I just thought I'd go over a few do's and don'ts if you'd like to have great credit. Some of these may sound very simple, but you need to pay attention to them. The first thing is pay all your bills on time. That seems to be something that everybody knows, but a lot of people don't do.
Right.
Put a stop to excess spending. Have a budget. Find ways to cut back and free up cash. Keep balances of credit cards low, below 30% of the credit limit, ideally between 10 to 20%.
Right. We don't hear so much, I should say, about the importance of the ratio on your credit cards and something.
Yes, 30% of the total FICO score is based on those ratios of credit cards. So if you don't have a low balance, you're inviting trouble. A lot of the folks I see, especially the more affluent folks, have lower scores than they need to have because they've got 3 or 4 accounts that are, say, at a 75% or higher utilization rate, and that just knocks the scores way down, sometimes as much as 50, 60, 70 points.
Right.
Still, Dr. Credit, you shouldn't pay off all of your balance, right?
That's correct. Mm-hmm. Here's what happens. When you have a credit card, for example, and you pay it down to zero and you leave it at a zero balance for just a few months, that's called putting it on ice, and they will stop factoring that particular account into your scores. It can hurt you a lot.
A lot of great information right there. What are some other tips you can extend to our audience today as well?
Well, one thing that may sound very stupid, but read all your mail. A lot of people don't. They think things are junk mail, throw it away. Read everything that comes in, because Congress did a study a few years ago that showed that 25% roughly of all credit reports audited had mistakes or errors seriously enough to cause you to be turned down for a major purchase. They are processing tons of information, actually hourly, and there are a lot of mistakes being made. The technology is more advanced than the capacity a lot of times to handle it, and you may get a notice for something you don't owe. You may get a notice that you're late when you're not. You may get a collection notice from something that's absolutely bogus.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you say, read all your mail, because I myself specialize in the sell foreclosed properties, and the people that are, underwater, they get inundated with collection letters. And just a couple of years ago, I think it was either Bank of America or Chase was sending out letters to homeowners offering them assistance and money if they would just answer the phone and cooperate. And a lot of people were just not getting the information because they weren't opening their mail, and they were just taking it and throwing it right into the trash.
Oh, yeah. You're not only missing some opportunities, perhaps, but if something's not correct, here's the way the law works. The law says that for a new collection, they have to send you written notice 30 days in advance of their intent to put it on your credit. If you do not respond in that period of time, the law says basically that the assumption is you owe it, and they have every right to put it on your credit. Once it goes on there, it is hard as nails to get it off.
Well, a lot of good points there, Bill. Got to wrap it up real quick, but real quick for my listeners, as always, how can they get in touch with you to assist them with their credit needs?
You can call me at my office in Brandon, which is 813-655-9451. You can go on my website, creditdrbill.com, or contact the Jamie Meloni Show, and they'll certainly provide you the information.
Sounds like a plan. Bill, as always, thank you very much for chiming in on our Credit Matters segment.
Great to be with you.
All right, and if you're just tuning in here, you've been listening to the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show here on 1250 Wins, WHNZ. Coming back from the break, we're going to be talking with Alex Sink, founder of the Florida Next Foundation, so stay tuned for that information.
In the market for a reverse mortgage? Contact Access Reverse, a local company with personalized service in the Bay Area. Call them at 727-347-0305 or visit accessreverse.com for a no-cost, no-obligation consultation. They'll come to your home and speak with you about the best options for your reverse mortgage. Plus, they offer the lowest closing costs. Don't just get a reverse mortgage. Get the right reverse mortgage with Access Reverse. Visit accessreverse.com. NMLS number 4566.
Tampa Bay weather is a roof killer. That's why when getting your roof done, you want it done right. Hi, I'm Jamie Meloni of the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show. When considering a new roof or repair, talk to Westfall Roofing. They've been installing high-quality roofs in Tampa Bay for over 25 years. Get a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 855-99-ROOFING. Find out what already 15,000 satisfied customers already know. Call now, 855-99-ROOFING. That's 855-99-ROOFING.
Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage want you to experience the thrill of one-day underwriting and the comfort in knowing your loans will be clear to close in record time. While the competition looks to a lost closing date, Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage focus on their 12-day clear to close. They do this by utilizing their world-class operations staff to underwrite your loan within 6 hours, process your loan in 12 days, and have your loan closed in time. Underwritten in 6 hours, cleared to close in 12 days. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage.
It's so important to have good credit, from getting a job to getting a mortgage, even giving your children the care they deserve. Bad credit and credit problems can put your future in jeopardy. So talk to Bill Lavender, Dr. Credit. Take control of your future. Get your credit back on the right track and learn how to keep it there. Visit creditdrbill.com or call 813-655-9451. That's 813-655-9451. If your credit scores are on the floor, call Dr. Credit and watch them soar.
You're listening to the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show with local expert Jamie Meloni. Now, here's Jamie.
Thanks for staying tuned in here to the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show here on 1250 Wins WHNZ. I'm joined in studio today with Stella Giudicelli, fellow real estate agent at Coldwell Banker. And I want to go ahead and bring on my first guest here for the show, Alex Sink. She is the founder of the Florida Next Foundation, an organization geared towards helping young entrepreneurs get the capital and exposure they need to develop their ideas in an effort to drive innovation needed to enhance Floridians' quality of life. She is also a board member of C1 Bank, a St. Petersburg-based community bank, and worked for Bank of America for 26 years, where she rose to serve as president of Florida operations before retiring in 2000. Alex Sink served as chief financial officer for the state of Florida from 2007 to 2011, where she was responsible for the state's accounting, treasury, and cash management, along with insurance agent licensing and risk management, and was also the 2010 Democratic nominee for the state of Florida governorship. Alex, thank you so much for joining me today on the air. You have an extremely lengthy and impressive resume of both public and private service to our great state. And your latest project is the Florida Next Foundation, which you founded in 2011. Tell the audience and myself more about this organization and your motivation behind its creation.
Okay, well, the audience can go to the website, floridanext.org, but basically, after 2010, remember the state of Florida, Jamie, was still in a very bad economic position. We had not come out of our recession by any stretch. And I just had a belief that the way to rebuild the Florida economy is one job at a time and to grow our own businesses rather than go off and think that some New York City-based big Fortune 1000 company is going to just pick up and move its headquarters to Tampa, for example. We've tried that approach for about 30 years, and it really hasn't worked.
Right.
And I think that it's important to support local small businesses and entrepreneurship and innovation. And so I started this 501c3, a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization to identify ways to just inspire a state of innovation in our state. And so out of that, we have done a number of projects in the next 3 years, and I know you're going to ask me about some of those.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. First of all, you say 501c3. We hear that term a lot. Tell us what a 501c3 is.
It's a 501c3 refers to an IRS code. It's a law which says that an organization can establish itself as a nonprofit.
Okay.
And in return for that, then people who are making contributions to that organization can take a tax deduction for that any contribution that they make. So we do fundraising, and we live off contributions, and the donors can write those investments off on their taxes.
Okay, and so the organization's goal is to promote entrepreneurship, sort of like a Shark Tank mentality.
Yes.
You're on the show where you have your ideas and you pitch them to 5 very intimidating guys hurling all kinds of questions and stuff at you, and you're kind of like, I don't know. Is that kind of the approach that you take here, or is it kind of more of a soft approach here?
No, we take that approach. One of the things that we also identify, we have kind of a two-pronged approach. One is encouraging startups and entrepreneurship and innovation, but also another thing that I noticed was that we had a brain drain. We had a lot of our young people, because the economy was so bad in Florida, were having to leave the state in order to find good jobs. And their parents were certainly complaining about that. And so we wanted to really focus on what is the young professional looking for? How can we attract and maintain and keep our very talented young professionals here? So we started doing something called an Impact Forum. And for an example, we're getting ready to do one in Tallahassee tomorrow. There will be another one in Fort Myers in early November. But we did some of our first impact forums right here in Tampa. So this is the way it works. We invited a bunch of people, maybe 30 to 50 people under the age of 40, to come and pitch ideas for things or projects that they think would improve the Tampa or the St. Petersburg community. And we give them 90 seconds. They get up in front of the group, and the audience is maybe 100 people. And in Tampa, we had maybe 15 great ideas, put them up on a board, and we invited the audience to vote on their top 3 choices. And we identified the top couple of choices, and our foundation, the Florida Next, works with a group of volunteers to try to make that idea into a reality.
Very interesting. It's very inspiring to see and to discuss an organization with the mission of promoting and inspiring entrepreneurship, being led by yourself and a strong network of directors and staff. Tell us a little bit more about some of the people you have assisting you with this operation and their accolades, and how their influence is helping this organization to grow.
Okay, well, we have a very, very small staff, small budget, but our executive director is a young professional, a young man by the name of Ned Pope. He's an expert in project implementation, and Ned is the one, he's a one-man stand almost. He's out running these impact forums and then working with the groups. He's very skilled at project management. You're in the real estate business and focus a lot on foreclosures. I might mention that one of the winning ideas in St. Petersburg was a young professional by the name of Frank Wells, whose basic idea was the city of St. Petersburg has foreclosed on a number of homes because the property taxes, they were abandoned and the property taxes were never paid.
Right.
And why don't we work with the city of St. Petersburg to offer these homes, rehab these homes, and offer these homes up to individuals who are starting up businesses so that they can live and work there for a very low monthly payment. And we can rejuvenate many of these inner city areas and fill these houses up with people. And that was his winning idea. So we helped him get connected to some funding sources, and it's my understanding we found a foundation that is providing a $2 million line of credit for him to rehab these houses and enable anybody who has an idea to start up a business. Obviously, they'll be vetted and everything to be able to live and work in these homes.
Yeah, it was. I was reading about that on your website where you're promoting all the different impact forums and the ideas that have come out of them. The St. Petersburg project, for instance, you call it I think it was called the Venture House.
Yes,
and it was designed for young professionals who want to build a business out of their home. Correct, and they could take these foreclosed properties and I guess rent them from the city for like $1 a year, I think is what it said. Do you have, and I'm not put you on the spot, do you know if there's like a high supply of these homes out there, or do you have any information on that, or no?
I think there's several dozen.
There's several dozen.
But for anyone listening who wants to know more, they can contact us at floridanext.org or I believe we have a description, and Frank Wells is the young professional this was his brainstorm idea.
So he probably thought of this just, driving through a neighborhood one day, saw all the rundown homes. But your organization, the Florida Next Foundation, gave him a forum to get his idea in front of impactful people.
Absolutely.
So he he had a 90-second script, and he came to one of the impact segments.
90 seconds, he came and presented. We had a lot of the, quote, right people there. Not only did we have other young professionals, but we also invite representatives from chambers. We invite investors. We invite people who have money to invest in projects, because the word gets around that these are interesting projects. And these are more social entrepreneurship projects. We also are working, we're co-located at a place called the Tampa Wave, which is the second story of what we know as the beer can building.
Right.
And on that second floor, there are probably, as we speak, I want to say 20 companies who are being incubated. They're there for maybe 3 to 6 months at a time, and they are looking for opportunities to get mentorship and ways to raise capital, because, as you know, the number one issue is, how am I going to get the capital to run my business? So those are, we're just we're there to help. We're there to help grow our economy in Florida and really be focused on the enormous amount of talent that exists right here under our nose.
Now, these impact forum events, how do you promote these, or how do we get information? I know you got them on the website, but where else are you promoting these? How are you getting people in the exposure out there?
Well, through our partners. For example, when we go up to Tallahassee tomorrow, we got some funding from the Community Foundation. The Community Foundation plus the United Way here in Tampa Bay supported our efforts and our impact forum. We might be partnered up with we're partnered with FSU in Tallahassee. So we have to find community partners who are really plugged into the local communities, because we're not some outside organization that wants to come in and tell you what to do or how to do it. We just know how to facilitate and how to what we want to do is take an idea. Lots of people have good ideas, and make those ideas into realities and real projects with real work plans.
Yeah. Now, see, you just mentioned you have the Tallahassee Impact Forum coming up here on the 14th, which is tomorrow.
Yes.
And then you got another one in Southwest Florida coming up on November 5th as well. Is that correct?
That's right.
And who are the people in the audience that are judging you mentioned there's people that vote on it. Who are the people out in the audience that are voting?
Anybody who comes.
Just anybody, so I can show up and have a vote.
Oh, definitely. Anybody who's interested is welcome to come and attend an impact forum and pitch an idea. I mean, one of the winning ideas of the Tampa Forum, it was just a young man who came to listen, and during the course of the night, he came up with this idea that we need to be a more philanthropic, charitable giving community in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, save that thought there. We'll take a quick break. I want to talk a little bit more about that coming back from the break. She's referring to the winning forum, which was the Sunday Sounds event here in Tampa. If you're just tuning in, though, you're listening here to the Jamie Maloney Real Estate Show here on 1250 Wins WHNZ, and we're talking with Alex Zink, founder of the Florida Next Foundation. So please stay tuned. We'll be back here in a moment on 1250 Wins WHNZ.
Patients travel from around the world to the Lung Institute of Tampa Bay for stem cell therapy. The treatment utilizes stem cells from the patient's own body to treat lung diseases such as COPD and pulmonary fibrosis. After treatment, patients are able to breathe easier and get back to the activities they once enjoyed. For a free consultation and to find out if you qualify for their innovative treatment, call their specialist 855-381-COPD or visit them at lunginstitute.com. That's 855-381-COPD.
Napa know-how! You've packed your family of 8 in a 5-person car. Packed a week's worth of groceries into one bag. And when your wife says the dishwasher's full, you just laugh. But are you up for the challenge when there's 20% off on the line? Pick up our exclusive 5-gallon Napa Camo bucket for just $2.99. Then get 20% off all the stuff you can fit in it. Conquer the job with Napa know-how. At participating Napa Auto Parts stores while supplies last. Some exclusions apply. Offer expires 11/16/14.
Ron Diaz for Simpson Air. Gary Simpson's here. When he installed my Carrier comfort system, I noticed right away how comfortable my home was and how my humidity was always at 54%. That's a big difference. That's why it feels comfortable in my house no matter what time of year it is.
Ron, when we came out to your house, there was a lot of hot air blowing around that room. And when we put that variable speed air handler in there, it in the new ductwork, that made all the difference in the world. And the reason was because you had a system now that targeted humidity and temperature. So if you decide to put a new air conditioning system in, call Simpson Air, the coolest guys in town. Ask for Paul. He's very familiar with the variable speed technology. He's also very familiar with the staging outdoor unit, which you might want to know about as well.
Technology changes all the time. Remember the flip phone? How does that translate in the air conditioning business? Turn to the experts with Carrier and Simpson Air. Call and ask Paul. He knows all about the latest technology Carrier has to offer. 813-558-0858. The coolest guys in town. That's Simpson Air. 813-558-0858.
Morgan & Morgan. On your cell phone, dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com.
This report is brought to you by the Florida Law Group.
The lawyers of the Florida Law Group have fought to make a difference for Tampa Bay area accident victims since 1982. Experience matters. Find out how at thefloridalawgroup.com or call 855-FLA-LAW now. That's 855-FLA-LAW-NOW.
From the Bright House Network's Traffic Center, the interstates are in good shape at the time. 275 problem-free throughout Pinellas and Hillsborough counties. Up to speed as well along the Veterans and the Selman Expressways. Watch out for an accident reported in Pasco County along Collier Parkway just north of State Road 54 near Weeks Boulevard. That reportedly has a travel lane blocked. And a rescue on scene of an accident in Pinellas County along Park Boulevard at Oakhurst Road. See a problem on the roadways? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Uterwick Hillsborough traffic tip line at 866-545-9595.
1250 winds, Weather Center forecast. Highs today getting up to 90 degrees. We'll see lots of sunshine, very little cloud cover, and a slight chance of showers that'll pick up in the later portion of the afternoon, right around the evening time. Could see an isolated shower pop up. Lows tonight in the mid-70s. Right now throughout the Bay Area, sunshine 88 in Brandon, Tampa 85, same for Clearwater, 87 out of Bradenton. And tomorrow we'll expect that front to come in. Cloud cover moves in as well as showers, 70% chance, and mid-80s for the high. That'll see some low 80s following then. 1250 winds, WHNZ.
You're listening to the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show with local expert Jamie Meloni. Now, here's Jamie.
Hi again, everybody, and thanks for staying tuned in to the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show here on 1250 Winds WHNZ. In studio today, we're talking with Alex Sink, founder of the Florida Next Foundation. And I want to continue the conversation here. We're talking about the Impact Forum series and how people are getting their ideas out to the community. And we were just talking about the very successful idea that came out of St. Petersburg, the Venture House idea, where people could pick up homes that have been foreclosed by the city for $1 a year on a rental basis with the opportunity to even purchase them for $1 to grow and promote their business out of their homes. And the idea in Tampa was something known as the Sunday Sounds. Tell us a little bit more about that idea that came out of a Tampa Impact Forum.
We had two winning ideas out of the Tampa Impact Forum. The first was Sunday Sounds, and the idea here is that in order to attract and keep our young people, they like activities, and they like to know that maybe the first Sunday of the month is a certain activity in a park, And the young woman who presented it said, the common language is music. Everybody loves music, and we have a lot of local groups that are doing music. Let's create an environment where everybody knows that on a certain Sunday of the month at a certain park, there's going to be local music, and almost like a fair kind of thing. So we're still working with the city of Tampa on that project. It hasn't become reality quite yet, but we haven't given up on it because that was a winning idea. And the second idea was a young man who just came up with this idea in the middle of the forum. He said, we're not philanthropic enough. We're not good givers in Tampa Bay. We rank very low in terms of national giving. Let's do something about that. Young people need to get in the habit of giving, but make it easy for us. So out of that came Give Day Tampa Bay, which was held on May 4th of this year. 340 nonprofits were participating in it, and it was all about this. It was all about the power of mobile giving. Give $5, give $25, give $50, give $500. But let's get younger people engaged in giving. And as a result, we raised over $1 million for these 300 charities, and we're already in the planning stages to do it again next year.
That's very impressive, especially considering I said your average donation was just, $5, $10, $15 or something.
The average donation was about $100.
Okay.
The minimum was $25 because we had credit card charges and that sort of thing is, Dr. Credit knows about. But yeah.
That's a very inspiring. I mean, to raise $1 million with an average bid of a donation of $100, very interesting.
Alex, I have to say, it's such a pleasure to hear you discuss this matter. It's so interesting. And what I was just, reflecting about is I am from France, and what I found is over there I was raised and educated to work for others, and we not really sensibilized to what we can do in leadership and in entrepreneurship. That's my experience anyways in my education. And when I lived in France, I left the country, I was 21 and 25. And so listening you talk, it's so interesting, and it's been my experience here in America. Living here, I got to know myself as what I can do as a human being in leadership, in entrepreneurship, in giving, and being there for others. And that's actually why I left my previous company, which I was working for a bank, and I had a very good position, and I really wanted to know myself as a leader and as an entrepreneur as a real estate agent. So it's just really, really great, and thank you for what you're doing. But it's just great you're creating that environment for people who have the entrepreneurship and leadership, and help them make it come true.
Well, you're right, Stella. And here in this country, out of the dark days of this almost depression that we went through for so many 5 or 6 years, particularly here in Florida, so many young people came out of college or their education, or they lost their jobs, and they turn around and say, well, what the heck? Maybe now's the time to start that business I've always thought about. And so I'm just convinced that, Let's make lemonade out of lemons. Out of those bad times. I agree with you that we're trying to build. We need to build and encourage. Think of all the successful entrepreneurs that have been in Florida and created huge businesses like Raymond James or Publix. But just any other the business, Jamie, that you're trying to do. You saw an opportunity and realized that you're going to take advantage of it. And actually, the way to build wealth in our country is to be an entrepreneur. And one more thing is it's important to not be afraid to fail. One of the things that I learned when I studied entrepreneurship is that if you haven't failed at a couple of businesses, you're not good enough yet. You're not stretching yourself. And it's okay to fail, because out of those failures become learnings, and then you're able to build a successful business. And also to be philanthropic and charitable and realize that you want to give back to others and improve life in your community.
I've just became American.
Oh, congratulations!
Yes, a month ago, and I'm very much an American wannabe. So that's why that me being an entrepreneur, I feel I'm really American. But one of the things that I pinpointed about me becoming an American is how the Americans around me have always encouraged me and made it very positive to fail. And I think it's it's a beautiful thing to be okay and comfortable to fail. And I just it gave me chills when you say that, because I think it's a beautiful thing about America.
Yeah, and a very good point. You can't be afraid of failure out there, and I wouldn't be where I'm at today if I was afraid. If I'd been afraid to quit my job 7 years ago and enter a real estate market with no experience and no connections and nothing. And I've risen, to a top real estate agent, and now I'm a radio show host. And people ask me all the time, were you afraid? I was like, no, not really, because if I would have failed, I would have just found something else to do, or I would have just kept trying until I either succeeded there or went on to something else. Now, I want to continue the conversation there about the Florida Next Foundation, and I see here Bright House is teaming up with local chambers here in Tampa and Orlando to recognize some of the region's best startup companies as part of the Bright House Regional Awards. Tell us a little bit more about this and how the best startups are getting recognized through this event.
Well, I was reflecting back on 3 years ago when we started the Florida Next Foundation, that there were just the beginnings of the conversation about startups and entrepreneurs and innovation and taking research out of our fine research universities like USF and making these research ideas into reality. And here we fast forward, and now every time we turn around and we see that Bright House is sponsoring recognition programs for startups, and we've come a long way in 3 years in recognizing the fact that this is an important part of our economy. I'd rather see 200 startups hire one person or two people than one company come with 200 jobs, for example, because that's how we grow our economy, we expand. And those startups are really committed to this area as long as they can provide capital. So Bright House is looking for nominations for startups to recognize, and you can go on their website, I'm sure, and submit your own name or the name of somebody else. And it's going to lead up to a series of events, I believe, in Tampa and Orlando to recognize Startup Company of the Year.
Now, are any of the people that have worked with you through the Florida Next Foundation involved in this, or is this just something that is just kind of in line with what we're talking about, or how does it affiliate?
Well, it's we've got our fingers in many different pots. We're closest to a volunteer organization called Tampa Wave. They got a $2 million federal grant to establish an incubator. So they're in the second floor of the Sykes building in downtown Tampa. They have about 30 companies that they're working with right now, and they're in different phases of their development. So some of those companies will probably be nominated. There's another organization called Health Box that Florida Blue has provided the seed funding for startups that are specifically related to anything around healthcare and good health. And it's just really a stay tuned, pay attention. Another company we were talking about, startup called Wazinit.
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 Yep, that's what I have here.
They have a website. It's a young man and his wife. He has Crohn's disease and has to be really careful about the ingredients of. He said he could go to the grocery store and have to spend 3 hours just buying a little bit of food because he has to read every single label, and he's come up with a software program to shine on that barcode and be able to identify whether or not that item has ingredients that would inflame his disease.
Wow, and that's someone from Tampa?
He lives over in Feather Sound.
Yeah, I was actually reading about.
Exciting.
Yeah,
I was actually reading about that on your website there that you were talking about. This company Wazinit. Wazinit, and it's just an app that
I'm thinking of my friends right now.
Yes,
that tells you what's in these ingredients. Yeah. And I see that they recently just got a much larger promotion through the One Spark event, which is the world's crowdfunding festival, and they received accolades for this app at this event as well. If you want to elaborate a little bit more on the event that they were at.
Well, this is One Spark is something that got started in Jacksonville, again, because the Jacksonville economy, like every other economy in Florida, was not doing very well. And particularly in downtown Jacksonville has unfortunately become a ghost town. So many businesses moved out into the suburbs, and we know from talking to young professionals that what they want is they want a vibrant downtown area. They want a place like downtown St. Petersburg or downtown Tampa. Our mayor's working on making the downtown a place where you can live and work and play. And so the people in Jacksonville had this, it's a 3 or 4 day event called One Spark, and they invited all these businesses to come and pitch their ideas and lined up investors, and it's like a fair. And Florida Next was running the nonprofit segment of this fair, and they offered prizes, and the people that was in it got one of the prizes at the One Spark Festival to enable them to keep working on their app for their business.
Well, very exciting, and something, amazing coming out of the organization that you founded. I mean, you've got to be very excited about something like that, so kudos to you as well as to Wasn't It. Hopefully we'll be seeing this app on our phones here in the future. And, ironically, just as your organization is there to assist and fund entrepreneurs and small business owners and community leaders, your organization, the Florida Next Foundation, also needs a source of funding. How can interested investors get involved with the Florida Next Foundation?
Well, first is we'd love to have your email address. So if you go on our website, floridanext.org, please send us your email so that you'll be able to, and like us on Facebook. That's how we communicate. Our executive director, again, is Ned Pope. So he's ned.pope@floridanext.org. And people can contact me directly at alexsinkflorida@gmail.com. And I'll repeat that, alexsinkflorida@gmail.com.
And
I
Sink
just
is
love to
S-I-N-K.
S-I-N-K. And I would just love to hear from your audience about what they're interested in and their ideas. And let's see how we can convert an idea into a real project.
Sounds like a plan. Got to take a quick break here, but stay tuned. We'll be talking a little bit more with Alex Sink of the Florida Next Foundation when we come back. And again, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show here on 1250 Wins WHNZ. It's so important to have good credit, from getting a job to getting a mortgage, even giving your children the care they deserve. Bad credit and credit problems can put your future in jeopardy. So talk to Bill Lavender, Dr. Credit. Take control of your future. Get your credit back on the right track and learn how to keep it there. Visit creditdrbill.com or call 813-655-9451. That's 813-655-9451. If your credit scores are on the floor, call Dr. Credit and watch them soar.
In the market for a reverse mortgage? Contact Access Reverse, a local company with personalized service in the Bay Area. Call them at 727-347-0305 or visit accessreverse.com for a no-cost, no-obligation consultation. They'll come to your home and speak with you about the best options for your reverse mortgage. Plus, they offer the lowest closing costs. Don't just get a reverse mortgage. Get the right reverse mortgage with Access Reverse. Visit accessreverse.com. NMLS number 4566.
Tampa Bay weather is a roof killer. That's why when getting your roof done, you want it done right. Hi, I'm Jamie Meloni of the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show. When considering a new roof or repair, talk to Westfall Roofing. They've been installing high-quality roofs in Tampa Bay for over 25 years. Get a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 855-99-ROOFING. Find out what already 15,000 satisfied customers already know. Call now, 855-99-ROOFING. That's 855-99-ROOFING.
Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage want you to experience the thrill of one-day underwriting and the comfort in knowing your loans will be clear to close in record time. While the competition looks to a lost closing date, Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage focus on their 12-day clear to close. They do this by utilizing their world-class operations staff to underwrite your loan within 6 hours, process your loan in 12 days, and have your loan closed in time. Underwritten in 6 hours, cleared to close in 12 days. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage. You're listening to the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show with local expert Jamie Meloni. Now, here's Jamie.
Hi again, everybody, and thanks for staying tuned in here to the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show here on 1250 Wins WHNZ. We're talking with Alex Sink, founder of the Florida Next Foundation, and she is also a board member of with C1 Bank, which is a St. Petersburg-based community bank that is in the top 1% fastest-growing banks in the country, as measured by asset growth, seeing assets rise from $260 million to approximately $1.4 billion today. And interestingly enough, just as we've been discussing entrepreneurship, which is the cornerstone of the Florida Next Foundation, the CEO of C1 Bank, Mr. Trevor Burgess, was named the 2013 Ernst & Young Florida Entrepreneur of the Year in the financial services category. Tell us a little bit more about your role and influence at C1 Bank.
Well, I got involved with C1 initially probably a couple of years ago. Some people that I used to work with in banking had started working there, and was just very impressed with Trevor Burgess, who is the CEO, and he came in and took over a small bank and then did some other acquisitions with the idea of growing a true community bank throughout the state of Florida. And people might wonder, where does the name C1 come from? It stands for Customers First and Community First.
They're very
and I like that very much. And this summer, about a couple of months ago, they did a public offering. There are not very many companies doing initial public offerings right now, but they felt very confident in their investment model. And so C1 Bank is now listed on the New York Stock Exchange, and we're all very proud of that. And they're a bank that supports entrepreneurs, so it fits in very well with some of the other work that I am doing. And they're very creative in their lending approaches and do a tremendous amount of small business lending.
Yeah, and very I can see how it's affiliated with Florida Next, and it kind of goes hand in hand with entrepreneurship. So I can see how you definitely decided to get involved with C1 Bank in addition to the Florida Next Foundation. What are some of the advantages depositors have when dealing with a local community bank over the large institutional banks?
Well, I think that some people need to deal with large institutional banks. Some people need to deal with both. But one of the advantages of the community bank is the decisions are made here locally. Whether you have a loan relationship or a deposit relationship, the people making the ultimate decisions about your credit request or about your deposit relationship really are sitting right over there in St. Petersburg. So they pride themselves in staying very close to their community. They've now expanded to Sarasota, Fort Myers, just started in Miami. They have 2 or 3 branches in a booming market, as I'm sure you've been talking about from the real estate perspective, Jamie, that Miami is really booming. But dealing with that community bank that has that local flavor, and they're very invested in the community. They're the bank of the Bucks, and they're involved with the local soccer team and support the Lightning, and their executives are leaders in American Cancer Society, American Heart Association here. So they're living what their mantra is to put their clients and their community first, and I'm very proud to be affiliated with them.
Now, Alex, you also served as Chief Financial Officer of the state of Florida, where you oversaw the management of the state's $15 billion treasury and were responsible for the accounting of the state's $70 billion budget. In addition, your 26-year career at Bank of America saw you rise to President of Florida Operations, which undoubtedly qualifies you in the field of financial management and business development. For all the listeners tuning in, I want to know, what are some of your keys to success when developing a new idea or business?
Well, one of the keys to my success is to believe in people and to identify great talent. No one person can accomplish great things. You have to surround yourself with a great team of people. And Jamie, I bet you would say that your team that you work with at Coldwell Banker is a great team to deal with. It's just very important. You have to trust in people, and you want to maintain your reputation for integrity and trust when you're doing your business affairs. And you also, you have to have ambition and set goals.
Yeah, I myself, I find the greatest challenge in growing myself, and I think a lot of people do, is growth is a challenging part of any business, and the ability to find the right people to entrust with, assisting you in your business. And that's something that I have a challenge with, and I think it's a great point that you just raised, that you got to have the right people around you. And something that I think is probably the greatest challenge in growing a business is expansion. I mean, would you not say?
I definitely would. And as we've done many roundtables with business owners, large and small, and when I ask them, what are your big issues? Well, they say access to capital, of course, to grow my business. And number 2, right after that, is we're worried about being able to find talent. I can't find people with the right skills to do the jobs that I have available. And so that's why it's so important in this area for us to focus on education and encourage people to go as far as they possibly can to get themselves educated into the jobs. There are many jobs in this country and in this state that are going wanting. So be sure that you focus on what are these technology jobs are going. They're hard to find people to fill them. So let's get educated with the skills that we need for the jobs of the 21st century.
Yeah. And what other areas do you see entrepreneurs and small business owners go awry with when they're trying to expand? Any other tips that you can raise out there for our listenership?
Well, always the access to capital, and being sure that you've got a good business plan. And there are many resources in the community. USF has a small business resource center to be able to help small businesses succeed. HCC is working with people who want to start up businesses, and University of Tampa, likewise. St. Pete College has an incubator over on their campus in St. Petersburg. So it's having a good plan, executing on your plan, finding the talent, and also availing yourselves of the many, many resources in this region that can help you succeed in your business.
Yeah, I think having a business plan is important, and finding the right people to assist you in the expansion and growth of your business. Definitely a challenge for me, and definitely a challenge that I see in a lot of the other business owners out there. And interestingly enough, though, your organization, the Florida Next Foundation, gives entrepreneurs a forum to help them expand a little bit. And in wrapping up a little bit, I want to just kind of highlight that a little bit more. The Florida Next Foundation, again, you can find that over at floridanext.org, some information on this. But the Impact Forum series, if you're an entrepreneur out there looking to grow and promote your idea, they offer these Impact Forum series where you can get out in front of people. And again, for the listenership, tell us how these operate again one more time.
Well, in the Impact Forums, and we're hoping to come back, we're planning to come back around and do another one in Tampa and in St. Petersburg sometime during the first part of 2015. Bring your idea, 90 seconds to pitch your idea, just like Shark Tank. And if the group of people, probably an audience of 75 to 100 people, like your idea, then we'll help work with you to form a volunteer committee to figure out how that idea might become a reality. But who knows? It's just like listening to The Voice. You present your idea, there might be that one person in the audience who really is taken by your idea and might become your angel investor and work with you.
Well, hey, Alex, this has been a great discussion today. I'm very inspired, and it's great to see some of your influence getting out there and helping the people of the community get their ideas in front of people of influence and who can help their business grow. So thank you very much for being in studio today. I've thoroughly enjoyed the conversation and the discussion.
Thanks, Jamie, and thanks, Stella. Nice to meet you.
And you too.
And if you're just tuning in, you've been listening here to the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show here on 1250 Wins WHNZ. If you're just finding my show on the air for the first time, you will find me here every Mondays at noon. So I invite you to please tune in, as my show aims to become your information source for the Tampa Bay real estate market. Off the air, you can find me at my website and catch all of my past shows of the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show over at tampabayradio.com. Just go to the page there, and there's a show info tab, and you can catch all the audio casts as well as all the stream casts. And you can watch future shows as well live through the stream via the live stream feed on the tampabayradio.com site. Also, feel free to give me a call for your real estate needs, 813-760-8516. 813-760-8516. Hope everybody has a great week, and I'll see you next Monday at noon on the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show.
The opinions, viewpoints, and promises made during the preceding program